Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Burk, notyourboringagent.com.
And I'm Jessica Cialella. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Loan Flight here in Tampa.
And today we're going to be talking about what happens when you go under contract. Our last video was about loan types, and now we figured out your loan. Now we can actually put a house under contract.
Exciting. Lots of fun. So what happens first? Let's dive into that.
So the first thing is when you put your offer, it gets accepted, you have to put an earnest money deposit down. So what that means is that you want to show good faith, that you have some skin in the game when you're trying to buy a new home. And typically it can be held with the title company. It's pretty common that you write a check and the title company holds it. You get that credit towards the end when you're closing. That money's just not a waste. You get a credit back and it gets applied to your closing.
And what's the general threshold, would you say? Is there a minimum that's required? Is there a maximum? Do they have to put a certain amount down?
There's no certain amount. I would say anything more than $500, that's in a lower price point. But since we're in such a competitive market right now and it's totally a seller's market, you want to show that you have some good faith, right, and you want to at least put 1% down. So if it's a $500,000 home, you're typically like $3,000 to $5,000. If you really, really want to show that you have some good faith, 2% of the purchase price is something that's customarily.
Right. And it's important to understand, so once that earnest money is made, that's just less money due of you. It's not your down payment, it's not your closing costs, it's just the good faith estimate. You're serious about the home. Steven, I want to buy your house. I love it. Do you accept my offer? Yes. Okay, here's $2,000. Hold it somewhere safe, keep it with the title company, and then when I come to closing, I've already paid that $2,000 down. So, and then nice little savings.
Once that's done, it kicks off what I like to do is 10-day inspection period. It could be a 0-day inspection period if you're an investor buying a house that you're trying to flip, or it could be up to 10 days. Where, like I said, in this market right now, I like to do a 7 to 10-day inspection period. I have a list of really good home inspectors that I work with that have always done right. So you have this 10-day inspection period where they go in, they check out the home, make sure the roof is good, the AC, and those things can also play an effect to your mortgage, especially if we're talking about FHA or VA loans. Right. You want to make sure the roof is in good condition, you want to make sure the AC is working, that kind of thing to qualify for certain loan types.
Of course. And this would, of course, be your opportunity. Let's say if the inspection completely falls through for whatever reason, which hopefully is not the case, because typically the agent will kind of vet the home before they list it and make sure everything's in working order. But this is your window of time, assuming if you lock in 10 days, 7 days, that you can back out from the contract and get back that earnest money that you initially made deposit of. So assuming and hoping that everything goes well, the inspection's clear, at that point, that's when the loan kind of gets passed to me and we know we're in working order and we are ready to, meet the closing date. Typically, you'll set a contract closing date for 30 days or less, on or before the 30th day after it was signed. Some loan amounts in some cases will require maybe a little bit more, potentially if you're buying a mobile home or if you're doing USDA, just because the government-backed program, you can maybe anticipate a 45-day contract. I've never needed more, but I would say a healthy range is 30 days or less. So inspection period's good. We're ready to move forward. Now the lovely magnifying glass comes out for me. We need to make sure you're not getting your credit pulled any further. You're not financing furniture before you move into your house. Don't quit your job.
Don't quit your job.
Don't quit your job.
We need your money.
Don't do anything. Don't miss a payment. Don't not pay bills. If something comes up, you just let us know and we'll figure out, how to handle it from there. So once that begins, we generate initial loan disclosures knowing that we're moving forward with the home. Basically, it verifies your pre-approval information. The buyer will sign off on that information and get that intent to proceed with the loan. It goes off to underwriting, and then one of the most vital parts of the process happens here. We order the appraisal. So the appraisal is probably one of the biggest time constraints in a closing process, just because we're at the mercy of the AMC companies and the appraisers. And so we'll get it scheduled, get them to go out there. They'll usually get it back to us within a week, but everything is time sensitive. So the faster the better. And from there, we go, it's really an opportunity. You start shopping homeowners insurance.
Yes.
You'll go through to underwriting. You'll just kind of work out that stuff. You'll get any conditions that are required from the underwritten approval.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sew you up and close. What do you
That's
feel
it.
like are some questions that you get maybe that they might be a little bit scared to ask the lender, but they come to you and don't know how to...
I think the biggest thing is with the lender, and you have to have your insurance bound.
Yeah, of course.
So that's a big thing, because if you don't have your insurance, the mortgage lender cannot issue you the loan. So you want to make sure that you get your insurance bound. I just met with Kathy Walsh from Coast to Coast Insurance, and we're now in hurricane season. If there's a named storm anywhere, they aren't able to bind the insurance for you, which means you can't get the loan in order
Unless
to close
you have
on the house.
insurance, right.
So you need to make sure that the first thing you do is you make sure that you find your homeowner's insurance. A lot of people go through their car insurance and bundle it and save, but Kathy Walsh from Coast to Coast is a fantastic resource for you. So want to make sure that gets done.
Yeah, of course. I use the people I communicate with. They're over in St. Pete. They're Gulf Coast Insurance as well. So it's good to we have a good little network of people that we can refer to, kind of bounce quotes off of one another. And once we're in communication with the insurance agents, we know that everything's going to get taken care of. So if it ends up being an outside party that maybe the buyer found, they shopped around and they really want to use, a great quote that they found, it's just important to keep all of those people tied together so we know that we're all effectively communicating and closing on time. So, assuming that everything goes well, the appraisal comes back in, the underwriting is approved, conditions are approved.
Good.
You'll then be issued 3 days, at least 3 days, hopefully a couple more, but at least 3 days before closing, you'll be issued what is your initial first draft of your final CD, showing a pretty close estimate to what you are bringing to the closing table. And from there, you have 3 business days, and then you are signed and sealed and a homeowner.
That's it.
As long as you bring your ID to closing.
Make sure you bring your ID to
That's
closing
important too.
With the title company. So you get your CD. If there's any issues with where credits and debits, we're going to be going over that in our next video.
What are closing costs?
What are closing
Who pays
costs?
for what? Where do they go? What is this?
Yes.
Get lots of this.
And that gets confusing. And I get questions all the time, and I always go through line by line with my clients prior to close when the CD gets issued. And then, you're at closing. So our next video is going to be that. And
closing costs. Good old closing costs.
So let me know if you have any questions about this video or any other videos, and we would love your honest feedback.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Take
See
care.
you next time.